Being very entitled and controlling, narcissists have no difficulty stepping all over your personal boundaries. So that's why I put together an extensive video class called This Is Me. It has 25 videos, written documents, guided questions. I'm going to teach you how to have healthy boundaries. There's a link below, and I hope you'll find it to be quite therapeutic. Let's begin with a question here today, and that is, do narcissists have anger issues? And that's kind of like asking, do sharks have sharp teeth? The answer is yeah, of course they do. The very nature of narcissism sets these individuals up for strong anger issues. I mean, when you start with the presumption that says the world owes me, I'm entitled and it's all about me, they're very selfish, then that can set up an individual for anger when they realize the world isn't giving them what they want and the timing that they want. Narcissists have this strong presumption that they can and should control you. These are individuals who are quite willing to manipulate and exploit, and of course they become angry when that doesn't come through in the way they want. They operate with a false self. That is, they try to portray themselves as one thing, but behind the scenes there's something very different. And then when you begin to see some of the things that are not all that flattering about them, that bothers them. So yes, narcissists, by virtue of who they are and the ingredients that define them, are going to have plenty of moments where the anger is going to show up, whether it's in the loud, raging area or whether it's in the passive-aggressive or irritability and agitation, contempt. It can show up in many different ways. Now, the real question I want to focus on here today is, do you have anger issues? That's what the narcissist wants. Now, they can have anger all day long as far as they're concerned, but once they get you to the place to where you come back at them with your version of anger and your agitation, it allows them to play that gotcha game. Like, look at you. Look how off base you are. You don't make any sense. You're dysfunctional. And somehow that takes them off the hook. But what if you decided, I realize they're very prone to anger. They want me to join them in that anger, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to let that person be whatever they are. I'm on a different path. Now, there's a word that we have right now in our nomenclature that so many people use, and that's called becoming Zen. You ever thought about what that would mean if you were to decide, I'm going to go in a Zen place, to a Zen place, I'm going to have a Zen mindset, when that narcissist is anything but. Now, let's keep in mind, Zen is not something that you can just pull out just whenever you feel like it. But actually, in order for you to go Zen or become Zen when the narcissist becomes angry, it has to be something that's a mindset. It has to come from a place of regularity and consistency that already exists on the inside of you. So I want to see if we can kind of get an idea of what it means for you to be Zen, even when the narcissist has this anger. And a beginning point we're going to start with is that when you are in this Zen mindset, it means that your efforts with that other individuals do not involve trying to change that person or trying to change the events. But instead, it means that you're going to accept what is. And that can be very difficult because when you look at what the narcissist is, it's like, but I don't want it to be that way. And yet when you have this Zen mindset, it's like, but it is. There it is, and there's a very low likelihood that I'm going to make it any different from what it is. And so the beginning point of a Zen mindset is having a core acceptance of your reality. Now, some of you might protest and say, well, you have no idea how awful the narcissist in my world is. Or what if the person involved with my hurt and pain is, and then fill in the blank. My daughter, my boss, my children that have been alienated from me. I don't think I can do it because of that. Or I just feel too depleted. And when I hear things like that, my reaction is, I'm so sorry that you've had to deal with all of that. Believe me, I've heard so many stories along those lines, and yet there it is. The narcissist is someone who wants to make your life miserable. They have anger issues, and they're going to come at you with all sorts of tricks and all to make you feel either depleted or get you to respond poorly. We need to have a mindset that says, I can be better, I can do better. And so I want to see if we can break it down and figure out what it means, how you can remain zen when a narcissist remains angry. Now, again, I'm going to go back and reiterate, being zen starts with accepting the truth about what is. And what we're going to say is I'm not going to go into a high judgment, or I'm not going to go into I can't believe this is happening, but I am going to let go of any sense of denial. Some individuals, like it or not, are troubled. And some individuals have no need to hear from you. Some individuals have no willingness to make adjustments. Some individuals are deeply disturbed, but they call themselves the gold standards. That's true. And I'm going to accept the fact that that is. And it means that we're not going to hold on to unattainable idealism. We're going to accept the fact that this is a disturbed world that has disturbed people in there. I accept that. Now, along with that then, as you remain in a Zen kind of mindset, it means that you let go of your demands. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't have assertiveness, and this doesn't mean that you don't have firmness and boundaries. You can still be about the business of standing firmly for who you are and following your directives and your own initiatives. That's part of your assertiveness, which is a healthy form of anger. But you're going to let go of the demand that says, and you need to appreciate what I'm doing, or you need to do the same thing as I'm trying to do in reverse, or you need to quit yelling at me. No, as I accept what is, as I let go of my demands, what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish myself as very other. Now, part of your ability to remain in this state means that in addition, you would see into that narcissist's own internal pain and turmoil. This is not a rational person we're dealing with. Their anger is a manifestation of their own internal conflict. And the importance of taking this attitude or this mindset is to remind you, their anger is not about you. They're trying to make it about you. They have a lot of finger pointing that they do. But let's keep in mind, it's about who they are, and any persuasion that you have toward them to try to make them realize it's about them and not you is going to go nowhere. And so you can see this is a person in pain. I'm sorry they have their pain, but that's not my responsibility to get them out of it. In addition, as you maintain a Zen-like mentality, I'm hoping you would have your own predetermined beliefs about your dignity. You were made for love. That's a good thing, and you can lean into that. And even when you err, you still have worth. And even when the narcissist tells you otherwise, you still have worth. The narcissist is not the one who gets to determine those kind of things. You have those beliefs that are already predetermined inside of you. Taking it a bit further, we're also going to say that humility becomes your ultimate strength. When we talk about humility, it's very much an opposite mindset of that egotistical narcissist. Their mindset is, it's all about me and you're supposed to do what I say. The humble individual says, the world doesn't really owe me a whole lot. I'm not anyone's inferior, but neither am I anyone's superior. And I accept what is in front of me, and I'm going to have a strength based on the fact that I feel no need to jump in to the competition of warring egos. In addition, when we talk about maintaining Zen, it also means that you're not going to be held captive by the experiences that are there in front of you. I have a term that I've used for decades. I refer to it as delicate detachment. I'm going to detach from that person who's there. And when I say delicate, I'm not going to do it in a mean or condescending or awful kind of spirit, but I'm going to realize the people and circumstances in front of me are what they are, but I don't have to get drugged down into it. I'm going to take more of an observer's approach, even as I maintain my boundaries, and allow that individual to be where they are. And then let's also acknowledge, when you have this mindset that says, I accept what is, it's not the same thing as defeatism. Basically, what we're saying is, I realize I can't cleanse a toxic person. I also realize, though, I'm competent. I have an inner strength that resides in me, and that inner strength includes ingredients like patience. It takes a lot of strength to stay patient. And that inner strength includes ingredients like civility and self-restraint. It also means that I get to stay inside of my decisiveness. It means that I'm committed to my own stability. And when that narcissist with their unstable anger comes along, that's where they are. But you see, in that delicate detachment, I'm pulling back. And then even as the narcissist succeeds in kind of creating and perpetuating anxiety or tension on the inside of you, pull back and remind yourself, I'm going to listen to what that anxiety and tension is trying to tell me. And it's telling me this is not somebody that needs to be on my inner circle. And we're going to summarize much of what we're saying by reminding you that the best way for you to be in control when that angry narcissist is coming after you is to quit trying to be so in control. Now, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate, you can't just pull this Zen kind of thinking out of the hat whenever you're right in the midst of a conflict. This is something that, like a technique or something you're going to use. But this is something that you're going to need to practice on an ongoing kind of basis. Remaining Zen means that you're a person that contemplates who you are and the meaning of your life. It means that you have a sense of self-awareness. It means that you're committed to calming kind of exercises. Sometimes you just have to pull back, and whether it's yoga or meditation or just time out or getting into therapy to help you get centered about who you are, that's what we're talking about. The narcissist can come along and say, well, I think you're a weirdo, or I think you're just a passive aggressive, or you're a troublemaker. And in your Zen mindset, it's like, I realize that. Okay, that's where you are. But the paradox is that when you accept the reality of a narcissist and the suffering sometimes that you can have because of the narcissist, then the suffering is not as strong. There it is. I am hurting, but I also know me well enough to know I can get beyond this. I see your anger. I choose not to participate in your anger. And I have the delightful task of staying inside my place of decency. Now, I hope that this gives you some good food for thought, and I'm hoping that you can examine your mindset, not just in those angry moments, but across the board, realizing you owe it to yourself to trust yourself and to believe in your own sense of dignity and worth, and hold on to it even when others choose not to join you. If you've not already hit the subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. We're going to keep more videos coming your way, and I hope that as you have a cumulative experience with these videos, it'll just help you all the more. Sometimes I mentioned a minute ago, you have a need for therapy. And the online therapy has become very popular since the pandemic. I have a sponsor, the people at BetterHelp.com, who've been sponsoring me for quite some time. There's a link below this video that will take you to their website. There's a whole team of licensed professional therapists. I've had excellent results with people and good feedback who've taken up on the BetterHelp people. Please, if you have a need, click through there. You get a 10% discount on the first month. Seek the help that you would most richly deserve. In addition, I have my therapeutic courses. These are like signing up for an online class. They're very extensive. It's going to take a lot of work, but we have they're meant to guide you in a healthy kind of direction. Each course has multiple videos and written documents. We have Ready, Set, Connect, about having good connections with others. This is me about having those boundaries, free to be, finding yourself despite the controllers. We have my webinars that have already been produced, along with my podcasts and books and articles on our website. Plenty of resources for you. The whole notion of being Zen means that you're going to be detached from individuals who are going to pull you under. There's going to be a calmness that says, I believe in myself, I love myself, it's so much so that when someone comes and tries to take it away from me, I'm just not going to participate in that. And in doing so, the more you're able to go into that mindset and make it very much your own, I hope that it leads you to a place of steadiness and stability. And then ultimately, the goal is for you to have a consistent experience of peace.